Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video I'm effectively going to show you guys my incursions setup, give you guys my breakdown of the hacks and the champions that I used and the reasons for it. Well, initially we're going to do a couple of fights to demonstrate it, and then we're going to discuss some of the better options for this month's Saga Incursions. So we have Power Reserve, Power Lock, Energize, Offensive Speciality, Unlimited Prowess. Shouldn't be too bad. We're going to go in with Purgatory. And Purgatory was one of the two most important champions. I am using a rank 2 Purgatory. Unduped. Unduped still can be used for long piece form content. And we just saw one of the main reasons why she's good. And we might as well go for a second one. So she does have insane amount of regen. And her damage becomes crazy insane later on as well with the hacks, obviously. So the reason why she was so useful is because once you capture all the souls, she does not only have a ton of utility, but she also has regen on her level 1. And she can spam specials and do a lot of fun things. So she was super instrumental for my run. I actually meant to use Okoye for that one. So I guess we're going to have to do another run. So here, I'm going to use Purgatory against Ultron, which is technically not the wisest idea because he's going to be regenerating a whole bunch. That's fine. Just need to smack him about a little bit. And then he's going to get the point. There we go. Can't regen the degen. And easy peasy lemon squeezy. Getting solid amount of furies, decent amount of damage, even though he is getting some health back. A bit of lag there as well. Yikes. And okay, let's just finish it up with the full health because that's cooler and better. So Purgatory, obviously, is very good, and she's hacked up. She's cheating well. So start the next zone. We're going to take the few gold that we get here. But jumping on the next zone, I guess this should be fine. Don't really need to do anything here. Minor aspect nightmares that would immediately kill me. Don't really want to go there. Alright, fine, let's go. Let's go beat up that Aegon. Should work out fine. Because now we just need to kind of showcase Okoye. Now my Okoye has lost a bit of health, and that is because I took a hazard shift node with her and just nuked zone 15 boss through hazard shift. Because accidents happen. But Okoye is also mental. Check this out, lads. So what we're going to do is this. I mean, I'm going to go for level 1 for no good reason. And I mean, that was okay. 25%. Maybe we can do that Deadpool as well, with class disadvantage, even though there's minor aspect of nightmares that will kind of mess me up. Wait a second, it's okay. I don't think anything else is too bad. So this is a 6-star rank 5 unascended Okoye, by the way. Pulled her from a random featured 6-star, and I honestly I ranked her up just for this, for funsies. And I mean, it seems to be working fine. And use that and be deadish. That was quite a lot of power sting damage then, and then by the way. It was like 680k. And I had more. I mean, so that kind of worked out. And obviously, Shield is then mainly as a fail-safe type champion. See, I didn't buffet over time, aggression regeneration. Okay, start to defender. Okay, 15 seconds, rapid metabolism, consistent combos. Ah, this actually could be annoying. I don't know, let's see how it works out. Should provide some feasible level of difficulty here. Okay. That definitely provides feasible level of difficulty. Okay, that MODOK would have actually made life difficult for me. But, I mean, like, I think I can probably just shield the guy. Oh. Glancing. Let's see how it works out. Yeah, you see, that's why I bring in shields for a backup. So ultimately, this is how you do it. Very nice. Very good job for baby shield. Yep, this is what I would have done if I wasn't recording a video. There we go. So these were the champions that I used pretty much for the entire run. I actually didn't swap or sub anything. These weren't even some of the craziest fights, but I started with the keep it going. The reason for that was because this hack helps everybody, and if you do have some attack modifiers like Furies, you can get some ridiculous amount of damage from keep it going. And again, armor break generally kind of works very well. Static charge is what makes Okoye absolutely busted. So if you are planning to use like Shield or Okoye or like Bleed Reliant champion, this is an amazing hack to have. And I got a ton of value from it. So whenever you apply bleed, you inflict power sting, you also get them taunted, and life's great. Now we have Buffgon, which also interact insanely well with the Okoye, but also a whole bunch of different champions. Like even Purgatory does quite well with that, and whenever you dex, you also get to trigger, so most champions do well with it. Martial Artist is not really a needed hack here, it's just kind of nice to have. I would have preferred to have the strategic movement over this, but the choices didn't really line up there. And the Fury Burst is the hack that does give me Furies, and it also interacts nicely with the extra ability accuracy you can get from some of the base hacks, and just gives you extra damage. But again, these are not too important here either. The most important ones for my entire run was Keep It Going, Hemostatic Charge, and Buff Gone overall. Additionally, improved Power Sting Potency, improved ability accuracy on lights, Stun upgrade, Fury Potency upgrade, Unique Buff Count gives me extra damage. I hoped I would get the extra damage per debuff, but no. And then we have debuff reinforcement and armor break, and attack enhancement on basic. That's about it. So this is my hack scenario. And again, for the most part, worked very well. You do not want to rely entirely on bleeds in this run, because Elsa Bloodstone bosses are a thing, and you will degen if you bleed them. So Elsa Bloodstones are quite annoying, and for that reason alone, just about, you want somebody like Purgatory or somebody else that doesn't necessarily bleed off the gate. And then there are also the hazard shift nodes, where you do want champions with the immunities to bleed and poison, or at the very least some ability to deal with them, which in my case was primarily Shield. And Okoye was a tremendous nuker. So that said, let's take a look at some of the better options. You can obviously see all the champions that you can use in the Saga Incursions by just clicking this icon here. So that's all the champions that are Saga champions. As you can see, it's Solar Surfer, Tomb, stuff like that. And you can also filter that in Khonshu's Ankh, the top Saga champion filter. There you go. To take a look at it there. And there are some very, very cool interactions, but again, this is vastly different because Kabam has taken away the draining degeneration hack and a few more. You know, you do kind of have to use a bit different strategies. So which champions works the best? I mentioned Purgatory is amazing. If yours is not awakened, you need to make sure that you knock the initial opponents down with a special attack whilst you're in demonic rampage. So that's like super important. You need to knock them out with a special attack. But then, once you do capture the souls, you get increased regeneration on the block. You nullify the opponent's... so, when filling a bar of power, nullify one of the opponent's buff. Whenever opponent's buff is nullified or prevented, you go unblockable. That's super handy. Then you have Tech Soul that lets you inflict arm break debuffs whenever filling a bar of power. Mutant lets you steal extra power and just gives you extra power gain. And Skill Soul was potentially the most useful here, where you get to apply passive slow, thus dealing with all their weights, basically. And then, you know, rest of her ability kit, and that regen on level 1 is very, very, very clutch. You get degen on level 2, access to Incinerate as well. Yeah, very, very good champ for that, for sure. Okoye is crazy for this. You could do like 10-20 second fights late on in incursions like zone 13, 14. And you don't need to know much about Okoye in general. Okoye does not need to be duped. I have heard of people using a 6-star rank 4 as well. You just want that bleed power sting hack as your main source of damage. And yeah, just do full hit combos and make them suffer for it with the power stings. Then we have Misty Knight. Misty Knight, actually, if you happen to have like a rank 2 Misty Knight, you can potentially have a ton of fun with her guaranteed crits, with her unblockables, and the easy way to kind of like nuke champions down. She interacts very well with the hacks. Shield, I already mentioned for reasons. Now Nick Fury. Nick Fury also is a very useful champ to bring because you do have the safety net of his second life. First of all, he doesn't have access to a ton of bleeds and a lot of utility in general, like shrugging off debuffs. And then you just use him until you lose your life model decoy, and then you can swap him out. So bring in Nick Fury, especially if you're bringing in Okoye, can also be a very good idea to save you a bit of trouble. Use that cheat death mechanic and then just bring in a different champion, a similar purpose. Wolverine Weapon X and Hulkling, both of them, I think they are close by. They interact very well with the second chance boss hack, where if you would be knocked out, you go indestructible and you get a bit of regeneration. But both Wolverine Weapon X and Hulkling does have regen based on the damage you have taken. So they just add a very good level of security and comfort in these incursions, because even when you do make mistakes, you can regen back vast majority of your health. And then on top of it all, obviously Weapon X just spams a ton of bleeds. So you can use him with the Hemispheric Charge hack, and a bunch of other hacks do synergize well with him. So a solid shout for sure. I think Storm should do crazy amount of damage with a whole bunch of hacks. She will obviously interact well with Buffcon. She interacts well with Perpetual Offense, no doubt. Any hacks that give her extra power as well would work great. And I think Storm can potentially be awesome. Dust, infinite amount of debuffs. Dust has always been good for incursions. She's quite safe to use, and then when she starts spamming special attacks, especially with the power reserve hacks that lets you use less power on specials, you can do some ridiculous things with Dust. If my phone wouldn't lag when I play Dust, especially when I stream, I would certainly have added her to my run as well, especially due to her immunities. Spiral does very well here as well because of her ability to inflict a ton of debuffs, plus the way she deals opponent's power. She interacts well with a ton of hacks, so yeah, Spiral's quite cool. Then we have White Tiger. White Tiger is actually quite crucial to some runs, and there might be situations where you will have to sub her in, and the reason for that is because she is immune to Nullify, and there are a lot of hacks that could pose a trouble for you. In addition to that, you do have that massive bleed on level 2, and you have access to Furies. Furies interact with a ton of hacks. And when you bleed opponent, you also heal block them and you regen yourself. So she's also one of those champions that's quite easy to top up. Now, Laughter, not Man-Thing, is an amazing incursion champion because Man-Thing is a champion that's designed to basically spam specials infinitely. And every time you do, you also trigger a buff. And even when you throw a heavy attack. And needless to say, the more special attacks you spam, the more debuffs you can have on opponent. So you trigger a lot of buffs for your buff hacks. You apply a lot of debuffs. You do have immunity. You do have Nullify built in. You have dots and armor breaks, all of whom can be enhanced tremendously with a whole bunch of hacks. And, you know, Man-Thing's chunky, kind of safe. And if Man-Thing's awakened, then below 50% health, you also get built-in regeneration to mitigate the chip damage. So yeah, Man-Thing's very, very good incursion champion, always has been. I think a lot of people have forgotten that. Then we have Medusa. Again, easy access to buffs, debuffs, very solid amount of damage, and a fail-safe for when you do mess up because of the auto block. So she's quite solid champ to base your run on around as well. And we have Null. Again, Null has much of what makes a perfect incursion champion with access to a ton of debuffs, with regen, with versatility in the way he does damage, and, you know, also access to some buffs, but not in particular, but, you know, you primarily focus on the debuff part. But yeah, Null is also amazing. Yeah, for incursions, have heard very good things. Hyperion, you can just absolutely be busted, especially with the improved ability accuracy on the heavy attack hack, giving you way more furies. And then ability to just spam level 1s. Yeah, Hyperion can do some crazy things. And Vox, because we do have the degen based hacks, he gets infinite amounts of buffs and debuffs. So if you have a big Vox, he does a beast of a job. Obviously, there are more. I can't highlight everybody. Rintrah seems like a safe champion to kind of like bring along. We do have Cersei. Cersei has always been a very good incursions champion as well because of her glancing, being super safe, and then even if she's awakened and regening, Cersei's like very, very solid shout for sure. If you happen to have one ranked up, we have Mojo as well, kind of like a ramp up champion that's quite easy to maintain. I imagine he should be doing quite well. I wonder if Terex would be good in theory. People might want to try out Lumitrix, but there you go. That has effectively been my run, the champions that I used for the reason that I did and the way they worked, as well as some other potential options. Let me know who you used and how did it go for you. For me, it was very smooth sailing, no items needed or units used. A couple of mistakes here and there, and I did have to revive, you know, one of the champions a few times, but other than that, very smooth and quite fun. I did enjoy the incursion run. So yeah, I'll go now. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, found it useful. I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about